Welcome back everyone. In this lesson, we will cover renaming files and moving files. So to recap, we currently have a drop-down action where a user can edit the name, i.e. edit the file, in addition to an action to move files. And these two leads to a component which talks about rename, entering the name here. In addition, moving a file to a different folder. Let's get started here. Let's start with the rename file. So in the rename file, we need to accept a parameter. The parameter will be of file reference. So here, the type is document reference, required files. Next, what we need to do here is edit. When the user press edit title, we're gonna update the document. So let's go to update document. The reference we're updating is the file reference, file ref. And what we want to change here is the file title. The file title will be a variable. And what we need to do is from the widget state, text field name. And then maybe we can also dismiss the custom dialog here. And this cancel button is simply dismissing the dialog. We need to pass in the file ref from this action. So let's go back here to the drop-down action. When edit name is pressed here, let's open up the dialog. So it'll be custom dialog. We're going to select the dialog of rename, and then let's pass in the reference. Let's bring up to the very top, pass in the reference. Yes, one thing I forgot here is that this component does not have a parameter. Let's also define a parameter here first. File ref, document reference, files. And now we can pass this component parameter into this action, which subsequently pass it to the subsequent component. So file ref, we've got file ref here, perfect. Now we can do the same for the move. So let's do the same action. Instead of, I'll just copy this action here quickly. Copy action, paste it to the move. So how I want to do the move is that I have two different kind of move, a move file and move folder. I'll explain later why move folder is separate in the move folder tutorial. But however, in move file, we're going to simply allow the file to go anywhere, to be moved anywhere, except the current directory, of course. So in order to determine whether what we're moving when we click this button is a file or folder, let's quickly do a backend query on this. So we're going to do a document from reference, files, the file ref. So this will allow us to access whether this file document based on the file ref is a file or folder. So let's go back to the move. So I'm going to say we click this button, click here. We're going to say add a conditional. So let's add a condition is condition equals files document, file type is equal to file, confirm. So when this file is a type of file, we will launch the custom dialog of move file. So similarly, we're going to do custom dialog, move file. And we want to pass, of course, a parameter, which is the file ref here as well. So set this up, and then we're going to go back to the drop-down action, this action specifically. I'm going to pass in the file reference. Perfect. Now, let's also do the same for when it's a folder type. Let's go to move folder. Let's also define a new parameter of file ref in this move file component. So it'll be file ref, and then of type document reference, type files. Okay, now let's go back to this action of move file, and then we can click here, move file, file ref, similarly file reference here. Cool, now we're just gonna put this up top here, align up top. What we also do here is that in order to open this dialog, we need to customize the action in the file manager, this action button here. So let's go do the same thing. We're gonna open up the dialog. So it'll be custom dialog, select component, drop down action. And what we need to pass is also the file reference of what we clicked on. So we files document, reference. And here you can align it with the target. So we can align it maybe down here. So this will pop up a bit off-centered to the left of what we clicked, where we clicked it. Similarly, let's copy this exact action down to here for the files. But we're gonna just we got to update the reference here for this, for the files list view. Actually, we need to align it maybe this corner. Great, let's test this to see if the action component and the clicker is working. So it shows we can download, edit name, delete, or move. And let's go back to the files. You can edit name and move. Let's click move. You can see it's move file title, and edit name will be rename. Perfect. Remember how we've set up the edit name action already? Let's see if this works. So instead of corgi picture, we're going to rename it to maybe corgi photo. And we're going to edit title. Great. And we dismissed the action, and then perfect. We can see it's renamed to corgi photo. And that is also reflected in the backend in Firebase, where the file title now is corgi photo. Great. Now, next step, let's do the moving of files. So moving of files will only allow the destination to be something different from its current folder. So the current folder of corgi photo is home slash, as you can see here and here. That means we can't move it to home slash again. It must be moved to either folder A, or if we create another folder, let's call it folder B. Or even folder A, there's a folder B inside of folder A. We're only allowed to move it there. So how do we do this? What we need to do is in the dropdown, we're gonna query the possible destination, a possible parent path, i.e. destination, we can move it to. So in order to do that, we need to so what we're going to do here firstly is query the backend for all the possible file path where there is a folder. So it will be, for example, let's look at all the file type of folder. So the first thing we're going to do is do a backend query. So add a backend query here. We're going to go to query collection, files, list of document. The type we're looking for is of type folder. So we can just hide code this. And let's and maybe is deleted is false. So we're not moving it to a kind of like a removed folder that no one can access. And then maybe we can order it by parent path of maybe increasing value. Sorry, of maybe the file title of increasing value, because we're creating the type of folder. So let's to confirm. Let's quickly deploy the index as always. Next, what we're going to do here is populate this dropdown. The problem with this is that the options here of this query does not exclude the current path, and it also doesn't include the home path. If corgi photo is in currently folder B, there is no folder in the backend called home, because home is just a base, a root directory. So what we're going to do is almost like hard code the option in. So how I want to approach this is I'm going to write a custom code. So it's going to be a custom function called available path to move file. And then it's going to be output of types, list of strings. I'm going to feed in a argument of parent path. And it's going to be of is list of what's being outputted by the backend query. We're going to output the current folder name. And then lastly, I am going to be a current parent path. It's going to be, not a list, but of string. I'm also going to pass in the current folder name. The reason why we are feeding in parent path and current folder is because let's say we go to folder A The parent path of folder A is actually not home/folder A. It's actually just home. That's why we need to append folder A to it, which is the current folder's name. Here we can see folder A of parent home path is home. It's not home/folder A. It's home. That's why we got to append folder A here. So this is the code we need. And then we will exclude the current parent path because we ultimately can't move it to the same folder basically. Here, I've already written the set of code. So I'll just copy and paste it here. So what it's doing is basically creating a list of parent path plus the folder name. And we're going to add the root path here. And then what we want to do is remove the current parent path of the file. Cool. Now that it works, let's go back here. So in the dropdown, what we're going to define, we're going to use that custom function we just created. So let's go to custom function, available path to move file. So we're going to feed in the parent path. So this is what we queried as a result from the backend query. So it's going to be files document. It's going to map this item. Get property document. We're going to go to parent path. Now we're going to do the same for the folder's name. So map this item, get property document, folder name, which is basically the file title here. Click OK, and the parent path. So the parent path, all we need here is, so in order to finalize this, we actually need to do a document from reference. Document from reference of the file that's been moved. So file ref, so we can access this file's parent ref. So let's quickly go back to this and fix this and re-add our custom function. So parent path, this is the files document, I believe. This is from the dropdown list of outputs. So let's do this quickly again. Parent path, save and quickly copy this quick. It's faster. Paste. So parent path, we go file title, and then current path would be of this document, I believe. Yep, of parent path. Okay, confirm. So this is going to give us a list of options to move to. Let's quickly test this to see if it works. So now that's loaded, let's check to see if we can move the Corgi folder. Or not move it, but see what's the option for dropdown. So we can see here that home/folder A and home/folder B are available. And home/, which is where the Corgi folder is Corgi file is right now, is not available. So this seems to be working. So what we need to do here is when we press move file, we take the user's selection of home/folder A and then update it here for this exact file. So where's the Corgi file? So the Corgi file, we want to update the parent path here. And from home/ to, for example, home/folder A/ or home/folder B/, depending on where the user is moving the file. So let's configure that action. So let's move this move file action. Let's go to add action. We're going to update the document. The document updating is the file reference. And we're going to update this field. We're going to update the parent path field of variable. And what we need is a widget state dropdown, what the value is here. And let's quickly dismiss this as well. Dismiss bottom sheet. Let's test this to see if it works. So let's relaunch this. Now that's loaded, let's move the Corgi photo to folder A, or even a deeper root, folder A/B, but let's move it to one level. Let's move. Great, it has disappeared from the home. Let's see if we can find it in folder A. And perfect, we can see here, Corgi folders here. And here in the backend, the parent path has also been updated. And we can do this again to move it to a different folder. And here you can see home path is available. And you can move it to folder B, which is on the same level as folder A, or a deeper folder in folder B. So you can keep doing this non-stop and test it. So that's how it works in moving folder. Thank you. I hope you learned a lot about renaming files and moving files within our file manager app. In the next lesson, we will talk about renaming folders and moving folders, which is slightly more complicated because you can rename a folder, but you also need to update all the parent path of files and folders underneath. And this is similarly for moving folders, where we also need to update all the parent path underneath when we move a folder around. Remember to subscribe to keep updated on the next video. Also, comment, like, and subscribe for more content on Flutterflow.